man I will date will be the man that will be my husband.
Look at some certain things. Will I be able to spend the rest of my life with him?
Welcome again to Decision Line with Yemi Johnson Ebo. It's been a wonderful time ever since we started this season of dating. Like I told you, we are looking at the concept of dating, and our guest, God has helped them actually to be able to touch one or two things. And at this point, we still have them on this episode, Mr. Bayo, Shotanmide, and Sister OKUNAIYA. And on this note, we actually are going to be looking at our experiences on dating. I want to believe it is something every human being that is in a relationship go through. So I'd like you guys to share with us. We were able to look at the stages of dating in our last episode, and on this point I'd like us to see how were we able to move from the first stage to the last stage, regardless of how we went about it. So I'd like to start with Mr. Bayo.
All right, thank you very much. Well, with my experience, so as to be specific, I would just like to talk about that third stage, that commitment stage. I believe that's the stage you pay the price, and that is the stage that actually worked for me.
Okay.
Against all odds, it's that stage of commitment. That is where I was able to prove to my wife that no matter what, I am still very much committed.
Okay.
It got to a stage where, you know, we had to be apart for some times for reasons best known to her, and that is enough to make me look around.
Reasons best known to her.
Yes.
Comes that.
Reasons best known to her. So it's enough to make me feel discouraged. It's enough to make me look back. But because of the readiness, you know, I told you about readiness, and I was ready and I was certain against all. So that commitment worked for me. So I had to wait. I waited and still continued to play my part. I think it's about 2-3 months what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So but I waited, and she eventually came back. We talked things over, and that was what helped build that fourth stage of intimacy. You know, and she was also convinced that I was actually ready for that. So that was what really helped me.
Okay, thank you very much. From what you said earlier, talking about reasons best known to her, I think I had similar issues when I was cutting my wife along the line also. I like to ask Sister Peju, why is it kind of something that is related with ladies during this moment of dating? Because from my sampling, I've come to realize that almost every relationship that at some point ended up in marriage have a point where they had to break up. Let me use that word. And most people that I speak with always talk about reasons best known to the lady. And by the time you ask this lady, they don't really have anything to tell you, like, I don't know. So in order to cut it short, I think when I had issue with my wife on this same issue, in fact till today, whenever I ask her, why did you decide to go your way that time? I don't know, it just happened. That's the reply I get from her. So I'd like to ask you, has there been any issue like that as far as your experience is concerned? So I'd like you to share. I believe you understand the point I'm trying to make here.
Thank you very much. To me, I feel that third stage of dating is the most, let me use the word critical stage, where you need to understand or ascertain the fact whether this person is rightly yours or not. So at that stage, all we need to do, I think, you just need to have that conviction convince me, yes, you need to have that conviction. And you know, there are times when you don't pull out of some things, you really don't have that conviction whether this thing is truly yours or not. You know, there's this general saying that says anything that belongs to you, let it go. If it's yours, it actually comes back to you. So I feel that is what is just happening. You know, because for my own, as in my own experience that I've had when it comes to dating, it's at that point that it breaks up. Because like he said, he was ready. So because as a result of his readiness, that was why I was able to wait. Like, I need to, even when his partner was like, okay, please just go your own way. Like, because he was ready and he has that conviction that this is actually mine. You know, what is yours, definitely you have to wait and guard it jealously. So I feel that's what happened.
Alright, if I would put these two concepts, these two opinions together, you agree with me that it's a normal phenomenon that happens in relationship, the pulling out. So I don't know, Mr. Bayo, what's your take on this pulling out of the thing? She mentioned pull out. What is yours? Let it go. Let it go. If it's yours, it will come back. What's your take on that?
Well, thank you very much. The pulling out is really necessary. I think it also helped her decision. Okay. The process of pulling out, if I have to be sincere, that's where she tries to sample others.
Okay.
Because sincerely, at that point, you can be sure you are not the only one.
Okay. Okay.
She has her likes and dislikes, so she wants to be sure.
Okay.
So, and that's where you have to make sure you don't influence anything.
Okay.
Let her go, let her do whatsoever. She actually told me a lot. That little period where she traveled to, what she tried to make, possible to work. But eventually, it helped her to come back.
Okay.
And like I said, it really built the intimacy level.
If that be the case, it means on a normal ground, breakup is inevitable in every relationship. It's, I don't know.
I don't want to call it breakup.
We just need to call a spade here. You understand? I don't know which other name we will call it.
To me, I feel it's just like break time. You know, when you're in school and you're having, you have classes for hours, there's a time that you need to pull off your head and they call it break time. You know, we have short break
so
time.
So we're removing the
and we have the short break time, we have the long break time. So I feel it's just a break time because we as ladies, so many things on our head. So we need to be sure, am I really ready for this next stage? So I need to put down so many things. Am I really compatible with this thing? Is there something this person is doing that I really need to work on? So those are the periods that we really talk about those things. We ask ourselves questions and we try as much as possible to answer those questions.
Okay. Now, trying to balance our opinions now, I want to believe that the issue of the concept of dating is actually on both sides. Both parties have roles to play. And from these discussions we've had, you agree with me that we've been able to pull out some factors to consider, which I believe we'll still look into in our subsequent episodes. My dear followers and viewers, like I said, the discussion is getting intense and serious. And I know we still have a lot of issues we've not touched, we've not talked about. So feel free to share your opinions, drop your comments on our social media platforms. My guests, I would like to sincerely appreciate you guys for making yourself available for this time. Before we go, in just one word, I'd like you guys to say something to our viewers. Just one word. Mr. Bayo.
Well, for me, it's just like he said, whatsoever you want and you feel is good for you, go for it. But if you think you are still young, please work on some other things. There's time for everything. So, please.
There's time for everything.
Yes.
Sister Peju.
Okay, for me, what I would just say is that in whatever relationship or whatever thing you want to go into, before you dive into it, please try as much as possible to define your relationship right from the very first day. Define your relationship right from the very first start before you move into anything. So that will really help you to know whether you're ready or not to do this.
The concept of DTR, define your relationship. I believe you've had that. Be focused, know what you want, define the relationship. That is what we'll be leaving with you guys on this episode. Please, like I said earlier, don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. It is still Decision Line with Yemi Johnson Ebo. See you on the next episode. Thank you.